All right, just finished up another run today. Ran a little bit better than my last run yesterday, which would be like about 3 days ago, 3 uploads for you, but ran, I think, about 1.5 miles. Again, posted up on the screen. But if you're new here, subscribe, hit the like button, you know the deal. Today we're gonna talk about the power of the mind, right? I think I talked about this in another one of my videos that was like, this automatically makes you attractive to women, right? But we often don't realize how strong our mind is in a lot of situations, right? Now, we could take this example from running. I was just running. It was a pretty light run. I mean, I was kind of pushing myself at the pace. It was a little bit quicker than my usual, like 8:30. It was at about, like, I think 8:15, something like that. So I was running a bit faster. And I mean, obviously, as you run faster, your body will get worn out more quickly. So when you think about running, a lot of people think it's like a pretty physical and endurance game. And for somewhat that may be true. I think it's more like 30% physical, 70% mental of running, right? And if you have asthma and stuff like that, that might be a different story. But even though you won't be able to like have the same starting out baseline as everybody else, you can still, I don't know about fully cure your asthma, because I know there have been some studies where it showed like swimmers who had asthma and then they started swimming when they were young. They've been able to cure their asthma, which is definitely something really interesting. I don't know if the same applies to running. I mean, I feel like it should, just because it's kind of the same, like, you know, cardio work. Not to take anything away from swimmers, because I know they work hard as fuck. But back to the topic, the power of the mind, right? I wanted to quit. I always want to quit when I start my runs. I'm not gonna lie, if I'm running like my usual pace, if I'm not like slowing down or anything or taking a really light day, when I start my runs, when I get to the end of my street, that's when I feel like quitting, right? My breath already starts to get really tired. My legs start to hurt, and that might be my fault because after my run yesterday, I forgot to stretch last night, so partially my fault. But just generally, right, at the end of my street, maybe like 2 or 3 blocks down, I already start to get tired, and I'm like, damn, I don't want to do this anymore. But, you know, if you just tell your mind that if you get through this, it's going to feel so much better at the end. And just a lot of running is honestly just a mental game. If you've watched or read any of or listened to any of David Goggins' work, so he is like crazy guy. He went through Hell Week like 3 times, Navy SEAL, ultra marathon runner. So if you don't know, that's like 50 to 100 mile runs, 150 mile runs. And I mean, you do have to attain some sort of physical status to be able to participate in those kinds of races. But a lot of it comes down to the mental aspect. Your body can do a lot more than what your mind is willing to let it, if you think about it. So I also watched this video. I saw a clip somewhere where this guy was doing a heavy back squat, right? And it was probably like a 1 rep max. He had the weight on his back, he was going down, and then he had all these like cables and wires attached to him that were like electrical stimuli to his muscles. And so he went down, he was going back up, and you know, like typical PR stuff, it's like really a struggle. And as he's about to give up, he screams like now or something like that. And then the person, whoever's like spotting him, but with the electricity and stuff, he turns on the electricity and it shocks all his muscles and he's able to stand the weight up. So I don't know what that's supposed to tell me, other than the fact that your mind is betraying you, right? His body, if his body wasn't able to withstand that load, even with the shock of the muscles, he would have collapsed, and he wouldn't have been able to put the weight up even if he got the electrical shock. But he was given an electrical shock, so his body was able to, put the weight up, even though his mind told him no, because he was about to fail the last rep. So that's really important, is that your mind wants to limit your body before it's even ready. And maybe this is more for like physical tasks and stuff like that, because I don't know if it can really pertain to everything mental, like a solely mental based thing. But when I'm talking about like running and stuff like that, running, lifting weights and stuff, your mind is really betraying us. And maybe this can go to some sort of mental aspect, because another idea is that like 80 or 90% of drugs that are manufactured, or medicine, we'll say, to keep it, YouTube friendly. So any medicine that's trying to be developed, like 80 to 90% of those drugs, medicine, don't pass FDA approval. And that's because in order for them to pass, they need to be like, legit cures to problems. So one part of that test is the placebo effect. So if you don't know what that is, you can look that up, and I'm sure you know what a placebo effect is. I don't feel like explaining it right now. But drugs have to pass that placebo effect, and 80 to 90% of those drugs don't pass FDA approval because they're labeled as placebo effects. So when say they're experimenting to see if it passes the test, and then they give one person a drug, like the actual medicine, and then they give another person just a placebo, so just a sugar pill, and they tell them what the effects are supposed to be. The person that just takes a sugar pill and is told what the effects are supposed to be for their body, they actually experience those effects without even taking the actual medicine that was being developed. So that's just a strong, reminder that if your brain thinks something's supposed to happen, your body could produce those same effects without you even having to take some sort of external medicine or something like that. So that's kind of what I just wanted to talk about today, is the power of the mind and the strength that, your brain has in relation to even your body that you don't even know. And a lot of the things that we're dealing with may be self-imposed. And I'm not saying that everything in your life is controllable within you, but, I think the brain's super powerful, and we can overcome a lot of things just with the power of our own minds. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.